Hello, we are reaching you live from our Lagos News studio. Coming up, UNICEF calls for the implementation of child rights as the world marks International Children's Day. Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-RUFAI sacks Deputy Chief of Staff and 18 other political appointees of their duties. Debt Management Office says Nigeria's debt rose by 20.8 trillion naira between July 2015 and December 2020. French President Emmanuel Macron asked Rwandans to forgive France for its role in Rwanda's 1994 genocide. Many thanks for joining us on News Now. Here are some stories we are tracking at this hour. My name is Margaret Opera. Now today is International Children's Day, so we begin with a message from the United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF. UNICEF Country Director Peter Hawkins, in a statement on Thursday, said Nigerian children are resilient, talented and aspire to do great things. UNICEF noted it is the responsibility of the government to give them the platform and encouragement to grow. He, however, lamented that the Children's Day comes at a challenging moment with the COVID-19 pandemic, threatening gains made for children's development.
Happy Children's Day to all new children in Nigeria. Stay safe at this time. This is the time when you have to wear your mask, wash your hands, socially distance, don't go into crowded places. We will grow back better and stronger. This is the time to show your resilience, to show your brilliance, to show your inspiration to others.
Now, the former Vice President ATIKU has advised parents to teach children good behavior and instill high moral values. He said this in a message to congratulate children on the occasion of this year's Children's Day celebration. Now, sharing on Twitter, ATIKU advised leaders to create a safe learning environment for children and to make available learning materials. He said, I join other well-meaning citizens to congratulate all Nigerian children on the occasion of Children's Day. It is incumbent on us as a society to ensure that children attain their full potential in life. #Children's Day. The onus is on leaders to create a safe environment for the little ones, and parents must inculcate good behavior in children and instill in them high moral values. Now, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, FUMIGATION, has called for joint efforts by the government and all Nigerians to overcome the rising insecurity in the country. He emphasized differences and other factors that often divide Nigerians must be put aside for the urgency of safeguarding the nation. GBAJABIAMILA was speaking on Wednesday in Abuja at the opening of a special summit on national security organized by the House of Representatives. The summit was part of the Green Chamber's response to the country's security challenges, was to provide a platform for discussions by security stakeholders and other Nigerians in order to make a far-reaching recommendation to the executive arm of government. GBAJABIAMILA says the country is under attack by insurgents, bandits, kidnappers, and other criminal elements, which is called for a united and coordinated security approach to contain. Now, the Lagos State government has announced that the Echo Bridge from Castaigne to Alaka inbound National Stadium will be partially closed for 10 weeks for emergency repairs by the federal government. The State Commissioner for Transportation, Dr. Frederick Oladeyinde, who made this known in a press statement, said the closure will take place from June 4th to August 13th. Oladeyinde explained the repair is necessary to complete the rehabilitation works at the opposite side of the bridge earlier embarked upon by the federal government, hence the need for notice of roads diversion. He said pending the commencement of the rehabilitation work, alternative routes have been made available for the awareness of motorists to manage traffic during the period of repairs. The Kaduna State Governor, Malam Nasir El-RUFAI, has relieved his duty Chief of Staff Bala Muhammad, Political Advisor Ben Kure, and 17 other political appointees of their duties. The appointees were relieved of their duties in what the governor described as the first phase of his right-sizing of the public service. This was contained in a statement from Sir Kashim Ibrahim House, Kaduna, on Wednesday. Equally affected by the exercise are Halima Musa Nagogo, Special Assistant to DCOSL, and Umar Abubakar, Special Assistant to DCOSL. Others include Mustafa Linda, Nusha and Jamil Gwazala. Dan Motum, Special Assistant to the Special Advisor Political, would also exit the service, including Umar Haruna, a Special Assistant Political. Also, the Special Advisor Social Development, Zainab Shehu, Special Assistant to the Special Advisor Stephen Hezron, and Muhammad Bello Shaibu, Senior Special Assistant Stakeholders Relations, including Senior Special Assistant on Youth, Adiyu Haruna, among others, were also affected. The statement quoted EL-RUFAI as expressing gratitude to those disengaged for their services to the state. He also wished them well in their future endeavors. Now, over 100 students of EKITI State College of Health Sciences and Technology, EKITI, were landed into the emergency wards of the State Specialist Hospital. This was occasioned by an unauthorized fumigation of the school premises. Reports state that the students were writing their examinations at the time of the fumigation exercise after inhaling the chemical collapsed while others were left unconscious. Speaking on the incident, the president of the Student Union of the school, Comrade Okpayami, blamed the school authority.
Earlier today, I received a call from the provost of the College of Health in Nigeria regarding a situation in the facility. From what we understand, the institution had received a memo requesting that the fumigation be done in the facility. This had come from a federal agent, right? The fumigation was carried out today. Unfortunately, the inhalation created a bit of a panic, but more than panic was adverse effects on a good number of students. Over 100 of them. I had to visit the place myself firsthand, i.e. the hospital in itself, to see these patients and be sure that we were doing the right thing. I think it's important to note, like I mentioned, that even though over 100 were sent to the hospital, more than 64 of them have been discharged. We had, as at the time I was leaving, about 36 of them were still in the facility for observation.
Now, a clash broke out on Wednesday in the OROGHO communities in Oriwohon, local government area of Edo State. According to reports, some of the community youth sustained various degrees of injuries from gunshots. Eyewitnesses give account of the unfortunate incident.
He slapped me, used nyash or gun, hit me, I fell on ground. The next thing, let me hear a bullet.
From there, Osaon raised gun, he shoots. Now the rest people start, then Sly, then Sylvester, all of them. Then they all gun. As we run, they go, if they fire us or they go.
Case of gross abuse of power by men who believe that they are above the law. We have just been shown bullet wounds, obvious unlawful misuse of firearms by persons who ought to be citizens, who ought to be leaders in community, and it's something that should be condemned by all, and I urge all to condemn it. We will do our best as legal servants of the law and ministers in the temple of justice to ensure that justice is done and to see the way that peace is restored to that community.
Away from that, in other stories, the federal government has reassured Nigerians of its unwavering commitment and readiness to provide the needed resources to bring the end of terrorism, banditry and other forms of insecurity in the country. The Minister of Police Affairs, Muhammad Dinyadi, speaking at the commissioning ceremony of the West African Police Information System, WAPIS, in Abuja, says establishment of the WAPIS Center in Nigeria will help promote inter-agency collaboration towards intelligence sharing that will improve and strengthen the security architecture of the country and the West African region.
And technical expertise provided will remain a source of breakthrough for Nigeria police in tracking major crimes within the West African sub-region.
As today's inauguration illustrates, we have the means, we have the people, and we have the technology. What we need now is the continued strong political commitment that Nigeria has already demonstrated to take the implementation of the program lost in the finish line.
For the WAPI Center to be fully effective, some work still needs doing. So we need to an adoption, as it was mentioned by predecessors as well, of the law on data protection applicable to the WAPI system. We also need to ensure that staff continuity exists, and we request the Nigerian staff that is trained for the use of WAPIs should remain in place for at least 3 years. We also would like to see making the WAPIs system mandatory for rapid national ownership.
I'd like to draw Your Excellency's attention to the fact that the WAPIs program is due to come to an end in June 2022. However, most of the activities could not be accomplished within the project period as a result of bureaucratic obstacles in the operationalization process at the national level and the absence of national budgets to support the project, which have also been compounded by the COVID-19 pandemic. On behalf of the ECOWAS Commission and our 15 member states, I'd like to appeal to the European Union, our funding partner, to kindly consider extending the implementation phase of the WAPIS project beyond June 2022 for at least a period of 18 to 24 months in order to ensure its successful implementation in the remaining member states.
Now, Governor of Rivers State, Nyesom WIKE, has charged the new Chief Judge of the state, Justice Simeon Amadi, to be firm, courageous, and surpass the achievement he is inheriting from his predecessor. He gave the charge at the swearing-in ceremony of the Chief Judge at the Government House, Port Harcourt. Governor WIKE further urged him to be decisive about speedy delivery of justice processes.
Chief Amadi, do solemnly swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the Federal Republic of Nigeria, that as Chief Judge of Rivers State, I will discharge my duties and perform my functions honestly, to the best of my ability, and faithfully in accordance with the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the law, that I will abide by the code of conduct contained in the 5th schedule to the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, that I will not allow my personal interests to influence my official conduct.
Don't be timid about what NBA will say about you, but that does not stop you to have a cordial relationship. But you must be firm, because if you are not firm, then you've started failure. Don't compromise with anything that you know will affect you tomorrow. And don't form a clique. Don't form a clique in the judiciary. The true independent, not only money independent. Be independent to deliver your judgment as you want it. Don't be sending back case files. Don't be going to threaten other what you call junior judges. I don't know who are junior judges. So whatever it is there for the judiciary, we will not look behind, we'll do it. I have said here, we'll continue with financial autonomy. The one I will not agree is that the judiciary should go and submit budget to the State Assembly.
Now, traditional rulers in Yoruba land have been advised not to ridicule traditional religions. A traditionalist, Awodotun Aworemi, made this known in Ibadan while admonishing traditional rulers in Yoruba land to project traditional religion in a good way to the world. Aworemi also cautioned Nigerian movie industry against portraying traditional worship in a negative way.
We also need good roads, water, and everything that others are benefiting from the government. The money they spend on pilgrimage to Mecca, they should also give us just 10% of those money for the growth of our society and the growth of our tradition and traditional institution.
Use this medium to remind the kids in Yoruba land to see Ìṣẹ̀ṣe as the bedrock of the crowns of their head. They should be uplifting the Yoruba indigenous religion and not otherwise. Let them all rule over their communities in line with dictates of the fact instead of alien stories that tend to promote the activities of the alien ancestors.
Now we'll go on a commercial. We'll be back for more stories. Stay with us.
Fresh from the farm, good good for body. No chemical at all. This now real banga. No more wahala or pandy washy. Just put on for fire and your food is done ready. Everybody follow me, chop banga, hey banga, oh. Make you follow me, chop
Banga cook don easy. Banga na palm fruit wey dem comot. Put am inside can. You fit use banga cook any kind soup wey you like. And other food dem like rice, beans and even yam. Na Pali Agro Product Limited dem dey manufacture am. For distribution, make you call 070-666-38213. Banga, make your food yummy.
Many thanks for staying with us. Now we move to news from the Africa continent. Now, Mali's ousted interim president and prime minister have been freed after they were detained by the military and later resigned, an aide to the vice president said on Thursday. Interim President Bandwa and Prime Minister Mokhtar Ouen were arrested and taken to a military base outside the capital on Monday, triggering a crisis in the West African country and drawing threats of sanctions from major powers. The two men resigned from their posts while in detention on Wednesday. The arrest, orchestrated by Vice President Assimi Goïta, have jeopardized Mali's transition back to democracy after a coup in August overthrew former President Ibrahim Boubacar Keïta. Goïta, a colonel, also led last year's coup. He has promised that elections planned for next year will go ahead. Still on the African scene, thousands of people scrambled to flee the Congolese city of Goma on Thursday, some picking their way across landscapes covered with lava after officials said a second volcanic eruption could happen anytime. Magma, the molten rock that normally stays beneath the earth crust, has been detected beneath the city and the adjoining Lake Kivu. Constant Ndima Kongwa, the military governor of North Kivu province, said, citing seismic and ground deformation data. He noted, given these specific observations, an eruption on land or under the lake cannot be ruled out at present, and it would occur with very little or no warning. 31 people were killed on Saturday evening when Mount Nyiragongo, one of the world's most active volcanoes, sent a wall of orange lava downhill towards the city, destroying 17 villages on the way. Meanwhile, French President Emmanuel Macron on Thursday said only Rwandans could forgive France for its role in Rwanda's 1994 genocide. On this path, only those who went through that night can perhaps forgive for us the gift of forgiving. Macron said in a speech that the genocide memorial of Gizogi and Kigali, where more than 250,000 Tutsi were buried. France did not listen to those who wondered about impending massacre in Rwanda and stood de facto by genocide regime, Macron said. But Macron emphasized France was not an accomplice to the genocide. And now on the foreign scene, Taiwan does not believe China is seen offering its much-needed COVID-19 vaccines and think it is working to prevent the island from getting shots for political reasons as infections surge, officials briefed on the matter told Reuters. China and Taiwan have exchanged barbs as the world fights the virus, worsening ties already at low ebb because Taiwan's refusal to accept Chinese sovereignty has stepped up U.S. support for Taipei. The two have embarked on a bitter war of words about vaccines, much needed in Taiwan, as the medical system comes under strain from new cases with about 1% of the population and more than 23 million vaccinated. Now, the U.S. President Joe Biden plans to announce that he has selected Aaron Nicholas Bonds, a former ambassador to NATO, as his ambassador to China, and Mayor Eric Garcetti of Los Angeles as its ambassador to India. The New York Times reported late on Wednesday, citing two people familiar with the process. Biden also selected Thomas Arnoldson as vice chairman at Morgan Stanley, MSN, who served as Deputy Secretary of State under former President Barack Obama, to serve as the ambassador to Israel, the newspaper said. Rahm Emanuel, the former mayor of Chicago and Obama's chief of staff, have been selected to serve as ambassador to Japan. Cindy McCain, the widow of late U.S. Senator John McCain is said to be Biden's pick to serve as ambassador to the UN World Food Programme, while Mark Gainston, a former ambassador to Romania, is said to be in consideration for ambassador to the European Union, the New York Times has reported. Now, moving on to business, the total assets under the contributory pension scheme rose to 12.4 trillion naira as of end of April, according to the latest data obtained from the National Pension Commission on Wednesday. PENCOM, in its unaudited reports on the pension fund's industry portfolio for the period ended April 30, 2021, also provided data on the approved existing schemes, closed pension fund administrators, and retirement savings funds, including unremitted contribution at the Central Bank of Nigeria and legacy funds. The CPS, which lost some funds in recent months, returned to the growth path as it gained 92 billion naira in March. Now, the data show that the funds rose to 12.34 trillion naira as of the end of March from 12.25 trillion naira in February. The asset, which has been the fastest growing funds in the economy, lost 7 billion naira in January and another 52 billion naira in February. Still in business, the naira exchanged to the dollar at $491.5 per naira at the primary market on Wednesday. The official exchange rate website of the Central Bank of Nigeria for the Bureau de Change operators, the country's currency was bought and sold at 487/491.5 to the dollar as of Wednesday evening. The CPN recently adopted the NAFEX Investor and Exporter Forex Window Rate of 410.25 as its official exchange rate to the dollar. It confirmed this new official rate on its website on Monday night after it had removed $379 to naira. In April 2017, the CBN established the I&E Forex window as part of efforts to deepen the foreign exchange market and accommodate all foreign obligations. French oil and gas group Total and U.S. energy company Chevron have suspended some payment from the gas joint venture that would have reached Myanmar's junta, earning praise from pro-democracy activists for taking an important first step. Now, international companies doing business in the country have come under pressure from rights groups in Myanmar's parallel civilian government to review operations to stop payment flowing into a military government that seized power on February 1st. Myanmar has been in chaos since the army overthrew the elected government and detained its leader Aung San Suu Kyi, and junta have reported with brutal force to daily protests, marches and strikes nationwide in support of the ousted civilian administration. In a statement, Total said in light of the unstable context in Myanmar after a joint proposal with Chevron, shareholders at a meeting of the Motama Gas Transportation Company voted to suspend all cash distributions. Total is the biggest shareholder with 31.24%, while Chevron holds 28%, Thailand's PTTEP and Myanmar Oil Gas Enterprise hold the remainder. Now, moving on, cryptocurrency slipped on Thursday a bit, but without falling through recent lows, as enough traders clung to hopes that the asset class can claw its way back from last week's plunge. Bitcoin dropped 4% in Asia to about $37,600, and the next biggest crypto token, Ether, was down 7.5% at $2,676, leaving both well above dip week ago through but miles shy of the record highs they scaled in April. Some analysts said the fall felt relatively modest compared with recent volatility and pointed to a market finding a floor, though it is clear regulatory attention and wavering enthusiasm from Tesla boss Elon Musk are going to remain major risks. The country's debt rose by 20.8 trillion naira between July 2015 and December 2020, data obtained from the Debt Management Office on Wednesday showed. This period corresponds with the presidency of Major General Muhammadu Buhari, retired, who assumed leadership of the country on May 29, 2015. According to the statistics obtained from the DMO, Nigeria's total debt as of June 30, 2015 stood at 12.12 trillion naira. However, as of December 31, 2020, the country's debt portfolio had risen to 32.92 trillion naira. This shows that within a period of 66 months, 5.5 years, the country's debt has risen by 20.8 trillion naira. It also means that within the period, the country's debt portfolio rose by 171.62%. And on that note, we call it a wrap on News Now. Please log on to our website, follow all our social media platforms, and ultimately don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more news updates. My name is Margaret Opera.